Okay, so here are my expanded thoughts on the movie Tag. So I watched it last night and I had a blast with this movie. Jeremy Renner stole the film for me. Okay, now look, there was a lot of leads in this film. Ed Helms was in it, John Hamm, but Jeremy Renner, when he came on screen, he just had me in stitches. Now, let me give you a little breakdown about the movie. So there's a group of guys. It's based on a true story. Loosely based on a true story, and about a bunch of guys that have been playing this game of tag since they were kids. So they're adults now, and they all have their corporate jobs. Ed Helms is a doctor. John Hamm is like the head of this conglomerate, and Jeremy Renner owns a fitness store, and he's a gym, and he's big into fitness, and so on and so on. And what happens is, for 1 month of the year, which is the month of May, they all play tag. Now, no matter where they are in the world or where they are in their lives, they'll fly across country and do whatever, and then they'll tag. They do, like, they get in the bushes and they hide and they tag somebody, and then they're it, and then they have to figure out how to find the other guy, and so on and so on. So that's the premise of the film. And Jeremy Renner's character in this movie has never been tagged before. So, and he's like completely the elite of the elites. So you've got Ed Helms, who's a doctor, but he's a fumbling kind of guy, and he's always trying to tag, but he's never been able to tag Jeremy Renner. And when they try to tag Jeremy Renner, he does like crazy, like Matrix stuff where he goes backwards and he's doing flips and he's got everything planned out. And it's really cool how they do it, because right as somebody's getting ready to tag him, it goes whoosh, and like it's just him, and you hear his voice narrating. He goes, "They're going to come from the left, but I've already figured out that they're going to come this way," and so on and so on and so on. And he goes, "And this is how I'm going to do this and defeat this." And then boom, it goes right into it, and it shows everything, and it's really cool how they do it. So Jeremy Renner is in it. Ed Helms is in it. I like Ed Helms. I worked on Where the Millers on that film, and Ed Helms was in that. It was really, really cool. So I've really liked anything he's been in. I did not see The Office. I don't watch a lot of TV, so I didn't see The Office. But John Hamm was in it. He was really funny. I mean, there were scenes where he's trying to escape getting tagged, and he grabs a chair and throws it at a big pane of glass, but it was plexiglass, so the chair jumps right back in his face and smashes him in his face. And the whole time, like, John Hamm was trying to do this interview with somebody for Tom, I think it was like the Wall Street Journal, and all about his business, but she was in when Ed Helms tries to sabotage him as a janitor, and he goes to the lengths of even like getting hired to be a janitor in the huge conglomerate's building so that he could sabotage him with a fake mustache and all this other kind of stuff and tag him. So, which was really cool, how he did it. He got hired and the whole 9 yards. But I'm jumping around, but let me get back to it. So, John Hamm is really, really funny in this movie, and you know, he did a lot of serious stuff for a long time. And what I would say is, he needs to do more comedy because he's really good at it. But you don't want to wear yourself out on the comedy. But if he can make sure he peppers some comedy movies in between all the heavy stuff that he does, you saw a little bit of what he could do, probably being funny in Baby Driver. He played like a nut, but it was like you laughed at some of the scenes. But this was really good. I mean, it was just totally in his wheelhouse. He totally can do comedy. And let's see, Leslie Bibb played Jeremy Renner's wife in it. Now, I did a movie called A Good Old-Fashioned Orgy years ago, and Leslie Bibb was in that. And that was a movie that starred Jason Sudeikis. And Jason Sudeikis is great too. And so if you haven't seen that comedy, Leslie Bibb is in that too. And she's been in a lot of other stuff too. She was in Iron Man 1 and 2 as that reporter that kept harassing Tony Stark. And she's really good in this. I mean, basically, she wants to get married in the month of May, but the month of May is when they do the tag stuff. So she's getting married, and she has to figure out a way to stop them from upsetting the wedding and causing a big fiasco. And so, I mean, she even goes as far as to like fake a miscarriage so that everyone feels sorry, and they have to draw up these amendments to the rules of tag that they don't mess with her. And then come to find out on Instagram, they were able to see that there were pictures of them getting married, and so everybody rushes to the wedding because they're all mad because she faked the miscarriage. So and she did a really good job of like playing that comedy up after she faked the miscarriage. So that was really good. Let's see, who else? Ilsa Fisher is in it, and she was in The Wedding Crashers and Arrested Development. She's the redhead that was like the obsessive redhead in The Wedding Crashers. She was really good in this. She played like, she was Ed Helms' wife, and she played like this neurotic, like psycho, like she took the game so seriously, but because they have these rules, no women are allowed to play, so she's always like cheering on Ed Helms' character to get Jeremy Renner, but she does it, and she's just like, she drops F-bombs. I mean, that's literally like they wrote nothing but F-bombs for it, but the way she delivered them and the intensity and the jokes behind them and everything were hysterical. So, I mean, it had me laughing. She was great in this. I was shocked to see that Brian Dennehy was in the movie. First of all, if you're not familiar with the name, you're familiar with the face, because the guy's been in like everything. But I haven't seen him. He hasn't been on my radar in a long time. So, but he was in, he played in First Blood with Sylvester Stallone, the first Rambo movie that came out in the early 80s. He played the sheriff that was harassing him, the really asshole sheriff. But he was also in a couple of other films that came out in the 80s that were pretty huge, called FX, which was all about these guys that used they were movie special effect guys, and then Brian Dennehy was a cop, and they paired up together with the special effect guy. And anyway, make a long story short, they're really good movies. They're called FX. They did FX1 and FX2, and if you like practical special effects and you like murder mysteries and things like that, you're going to love these movies, especially if you're a film crew member too and you haven't seen these movies. You'll get a lot of the stuff that's in that movie. So Brian Dennehy was in it. He was also in Cocoon. He was the one that like first revealed himself and pulled down his eyelid and it glue to Steve Guttenberg. So yeah, anyway, Brian Dennehy played in this film tag a Vietnam vet, pot-smoking Vietnam vet, who was hanging out with Jake Johnson's character. And Jake Johnson, he is on that show, The New Girl, that had Zoe Deschanel in it, but he was also recently in Jurassic World. He played kind of like a computer tech guy at the park. It was kind of like you kind of forgot about that character. Out of all the characters in the movie, Jake Johnson's character in Tag, I just didn't. It was like every time they did scenes and stuff like that, I was like, He played this pot smoker, and one thing that bothered me, which kind of screwed up, I think, his character a little bit, is they used CGI smoke. Every time he was like, and these big puffs of smoke would come out. It was all like computer animated, and it just looked really bad. So it kind of pulled me out of the movie. And his storyline was just, it just wasn't there. I mean, the characters I wanted to follow was Jeremy Renner, John Hamm, and Ed Helms. Everyone else I was kind of like, I could give or take. They had their funny moments. Hannibal Buress, I think that's how you say his name. He was in the film. He played like in comedy the straight guy. He would just like, he would talk like this, and then he would have these zingers that just came out of nowhere. And he had some funny moments and he in the film too as well. So you'll like him. I mean, he was in like Secret Life of Pets. He did voice work in that. He's been in a ton of stuff. I mean, he was in, I think he was in Avengers or something like that, or Captain America. He's done a lot of small roles. I mean, if you look him up, you'll see that he's done a lot of stuff. But he's a comedian, so he's got comedy specials and things like that. And he was funny. He was good. So I enjoyed his character as well. There was just really, you know, I don't want to spoil too much, but I had a really good time with this film. And then, just to wrap it up, I'll say, as the credits were rolling, they showed real footage of the original guys that the story was done in the Wall Street Journal, and they actually show the Wall Street Journal with the actual picture of the guys in it, and they show footage of them playing the tag game. So somebody was always like videotaping while they tag somebody on a golf course. The guy's like, "Oh, you son of, I can't believe you did that," and blah 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 blah, and this banter goes back and forth. And then there was kind of this ongoing joke in the credits with that song, once there was this girl who got into an accident. Now this was a song that came out a long time back in the 90s, and if you're not familiar with the song, it's called so it's MMM, 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 if you want to see the lyrics. But the funny thing is like Ed Helms in all of his movies, he's either playing piano or playing guitar, and he does these songs. And so this was like that thing in the credits. And just like the 80s photos where you have like a picture here with somebody and then like their face fading in the dark black behind you, they had these heads popping up in the black side of the credits. The credits are in the center, so you'd see like Ed Helms come up, and then you'd see Jeremy Renner come up, and then you see John Hamm come up, and all the characters start popping up, and they're all singing this song. But Jeremy Renner, once again, just destroyed it in the credits, and will have you rolling the way he sings this song. And I'm not going to spoil it, so you're just going to have to watch it. There was just a lot of really good moments, and you know, it was more fun than I thought it would be. I didn't see this movie in the theater when it came out. I thought the premise was kind of, you know, grown men playing tag. I thought, oh, this is gonna be really bad. But you know, I was told, hey, you got to check it out. It's really good, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I think everybody should definitely check it out. And if you like this video, leave comments below, subscribe to the channel, give us a like, share us on Facebook, and we'll see you for the next video.